Good evening, and welcome everybody back to another episode of the Love Speak podcast, where our goal is to get love right. And tonight, we will be discussing the love inside of friendships. I'm your host, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, always with the baddest of the baddies, Billy Badass Joe. And welcome everybody once again to the Love Speak. What's happening?
Hey world,
How you
what's
feeling,
going
baby?
on with you?
How you feeling? How your day been?
I'm feeling good. Halfway through the week, it's been pretty good. What do they consider today? Hump day.
That's right. That's right. Hump day.
Yeah, so I'm
Getting
doing
things
pretty
done.
good. Halfway through the week. Mm-hmm. Successful. All of that. How about yourself? How you doing today?
Thankful for another day. Able to love on something, even if it's just loving on me for a little bit. Um,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
man, in love with these friendships and relationships and all
Mm-hmm.
that good stuff. So it has been a relaxing day for me too. Though I've been relaxing because I've been moving around a lot. So just getting back in the saddle and getting back to business like as usual. And before we get to tonight's order of business, um, I want to thank all y'all viewers out there for tuning in. Go ahead and smash that like button. Also, share the video. We really would appreciate it, and it helps get other people in front of the
Mm-hmm.
content like yourself. So, once again,
Mm-hmm.
to everybody just tuning in, tonight's topic is the love inside of friendships. And we got some questions. So let's go to the Love Speak Q&A. Our questions tonight are: number one, what determines if a person is considered a friend?
Mm.
What determines if a person is even considered a friend? Two, what does
Mm.
good or bad love look like in a friendship? Good or bad love? What do that look like? Number three, should friends prioritize their friendship over potential romance? Friends can be
Wow.
lovers, and lovers can be friends. Remember that song? That song probably older than both of us,
Uh-huh.
right? Um,
Probably.
our fourth question: can love between friends lead to jealousy? Jealousy.
Mm.
And our fifth and final, last
Mm.
but never least, question of the evening will be: what is the difference between love and a friendship and love and a romantic relationship? What's the difference
Okay.
between love and a
Mm-hmm.
friendship and love and a romantic relationship? So, as always, we encourage y'all to tell us what you think in the live chat and let your love speak in the comments. And we're going to go ahead and get into our first question of the evening. What determines if a person is considered a friend? Billy Badass Joe, let us know.
Okay, so yes. So to each his own with this particular answer to this question, what determines if a person is considered a friend or not? Because honestly, it's really up to the things that you consider in your life. It's really up to your perspective. As for me, the things determine or consider if we have a relationship or not, respect we have for each other. It would be
Okay.
the objective and motive towards each other. That would be one of the factors I can consider if we're friends. And I think it would also depend upon, for me, the person's characteristics, who they are as an individual, and the things that they have to offer to the world, not just to me, but to the world. Um, so I think those few things wrapped up together would help determine or consider if I'm going to have you as a friend. There's other traits as well that obviously matter, whether you're an honest person, whether you're a prompt person, whether you're a person that's about business, you're a person that's just about fun and the extracurriculars in life. It's a combination of things for me. You feel like what do you feel like consider something to be your friend, or what are the things you look for in a friend?
Wow. So, what do I consider to be a friendship? Well, I know you have to have trust. Okay. That's the first thing. Can you be able to trust each other? All right. But then there's this dynamic though. A friendship, right? Friendship. Is the word meant to be temporary? Because ships do moor up and they do get underway. They do set sail. So those relationships could be lifelong, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just, that's like my first determining factor. Like that's the first thing. Um, and then there's always an assessment. Like when we were younger, you pick your friends based on your social setting, based on your environment, based on things in common. And then a lot of times you get put in environments where it's relative to befriend people who have some things in common, but sometimes you just place there and you
Mhm.
really don't have, that much in common.
Mhm.
And I give you an example like that. Like in the military, you were particularly in the branch of service that I served in, you get into that environment and it's a diverse environment because people are from different areas, but it isn't a diverse environment according to what they determine diversity to be based on skin color,
Mhm.
okay, and gender. So when you get in that environment, you will meet people that look like you, okay? So that will be the first commonality that you would share. All right. You may be at a unit where you're the only African American person there, you're the only Latino person there, you're the only Asian Pacific Northwestern Island person there.
Mhm.
And then you get somebody else there who shares the same ethnicity, you know, then you're like, okay, I have this person, so do I befriend them just because of that? You know, but you have to like see where that falls in line because you could be from two totally different backgrounds,
Exactly.
two totally different ways of thinking, the way you
Mhm.
were, raised, the way you interact with even with your family, you know. So once again, it goes back to that establishing trust in a relationship. And, I think that if you have that, then it's a question of like, what things do you mutually trust?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, if you don't have friends, like for a friend, you have to have something in common as well, too. Some common things
Mhm.
that go beyond just your complexion.
Mhm.
Because friends, friends is somebody that you would take home. Friends is somebody that you would trust. Friends is somebody you would invite to events, you know, your wedding, your birthday party, your family gathering, you know, they friends. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not, you know, um, they're not acquaintances.
I was about to say that there's a difference between a friend and an acquaintance as well, which is important to be understood.
Right. You know, they aren't associates, you know, because you have co-work. Some people have co-workers that aren't their friend. You know,
Exactly.
they're specifically there and they both function in that capacity in the role of whatever the job is or the necessity for them to be in that place. And then when they leave, they don't think about each other at all,
Right.
you know. Um I have some friends who like we don't talk all the time. But when we talk, it's like um you know, it's like we just catching up, but it's always good.
Like you never miss a beat.
I don't know if we say we never missed a beat because we did miss a lot of beats because we're not around each other all the time, you know? So it's kind of just like friends don't compete
Right.
with each other,
Right.
you know? It's when you speak to them, they're happy for the things that you're sharing, you know? They're sad for any of the things that you're going through. Um, if you have a problem with something, you can share that with your friend and they won't give you a friend, you know, a real friend won't give you a bias. They'll check, they'll let you know if you tripping. You know, they'll let you know if you're wrong or not. You know, they won't just cater to, you know, you just being right
Right.
and picking a side. You know, it'll be fairness because they want you to really be the best version of yourself. And you know, some people have friends that can't do that, that aren't
Yep.
capable of thinking like
Yep.
that. You know, some people have their friends and they like to be around people that will just, oh yeah, you right. Oh yeah, you right. Oh yeah, you know, oh yeah, yeah, I agree. They, you know, they just want people that's agreeable all the time. And I think a real friend, um, what det- what determines if some person is if they're gonna be real with you like that all the time, you know. And it's not where it's a struggle. And there's a mutual respect there that you don't think that person is hating on you or, you know, or jealous of you. You think that person is, you trust their input, you know, you trust their input. And, you know, I think that's what's considered to be a friend, you know, having some honesty, having some trust, you know, that integrity, that whole integrity component, you know, and being able to also have compassion for situations,
That is an excellent component to being
you
a good.
know.
Yeah.
And I think that like those things right there, you know, the consideration also with a friend like is a person who thinks about your feelings too,
Yeah.
you know, or how something may affect you. You know, um, back in the day, younger days, you know, we had this situation where I was riding in a car with some homeboys and, you know, somebody pulled out something. And when we got pulled over, somebody pulled out something and they got, you know, put it in the seat. So, you know, I
We ain't
never,
all going down for this now, is we?
well, I mean, it's a, you know, in my younger days, it was a rule to that. Like,
Right.
you know. But now, and nothing happened like that. On it, you know, we were all blessed, that fortunate that evening that the officers took what we had, you know. And I say that we had it, that person was just holding it. You know, you see how I didn't just, you know, say like, oh nah, that's his shit. You know, like
Right, right,
that's
right,
corny. You know,
right,
if we all was involved, but you just had it on you, like
right.
that's what happened. But then the sucker shit for him though was to take it off of him and put it in the car. I
Yeah.
I think I think he, you know, and I think we teased them about that after that, because it was like, oh, you was scared to go by yourself. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yeah, because he was scared to go by himself. Like, why you gonna put it in the car? So like we always say that that's your friends wouldn't do that, you know, because your friend would say, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead, you know, like it's on me. I got it on me. Ain't no need of everybody else getting jammed up. You know what I'm saying, man?
Right.
Just come get me. Tell
Yep.
tell tell my aunt, or tell my mom, tell my mom, tell somebody, tell my grandma. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell somebody go and to come get me. You know, um,
Mhm.
but I learned, like,
Well,
because those situations, I learned that as a friend, right, you have to tell somebody, like, don't get into my car if you got something on you,
mm-hmm.
you know, or
Mm-hmm.
tell me if you have something on you, because if you have something on you and we get pulled over and you put it in the car, I'm telling on you, you know,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
because I'm your friend,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, because
Because I'm
it ain't
your
mine,
friend.
right?
I'm going to tell you that I'm going to tell on your ass.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell on your ass, because guess what? That ain't mine. I ain't had
Right.
nothing to do with that, you know. And you didn't, as a friend, let me know when we got in the car that you had something on you, you
Yeah.
know. So why would you do that to me,
To me. Yeah.
right? So that's how I broke that down, and that's where we go back to, you know, just using that story of our own personal story, like, you know, that honesty and that trust, that integrity, you know, and and some compassion, man, some consideration for everybody, you know, for your friend,
I
like you,
agree with you. I
like you.
think that both of those answers together, plus probably a plethora of things that we could mention if we had more time to focus on it, all equate to having or determining if somebody is going to be a friend. A lot of this stuff and examples that you gave, I think, bleeds over into question number two, which is what does good or bad love look like in a friendship? And I think that one of the examples that you just gave in reference to having something on you that could put both of y'all in jeopardy, and whether you decide to mention it or not before entering the premises of sharing a vehicle with somebody, that both of you could be put in jeopardy. I think that good love is, hey, my man, I got this on me right here, right now. And just in case we get pulled over, I'm giving you a heads up so ain't nobody shot. Versus, in my opinion, a bad love situation would be, oh, he don't mention it to nobody or nothing. And then when y'all get pulled over, things start to unveil, which puts you in jeopardy of your freedom or your, So when you say good love and bad love inside of a friendship, that's an example that I can give. But honestly, I don't I don't know what bad love is inside of a friendship outside of like an example such as that, because at some point I'm gonna feel like if it ain't good, then it's jealousy or envy, or is a secret despise towards me or something. Like, I don't know what bad love is. I know that there are people that you can love or that can you, and maybe y'all can't be together in a friendship or in a relationship, but y'all genuinely have love and want to see each other do well apart from each other. But maybe there's some characteristic traits or some personality traits where you say, I don't really want to deal with you 24/7 as far as my friend, but I got love for you. Right. So What
How
is
did you find that out though? How did you kick it with them? Because that sound, I'm funking with you. That sounds like somebody you was smashing in that scenario. That don't sound like somebody who was just a friend.
no, no. Every situation or example that I give during this particular session is about platonicity and genuine friendship
But that
between man and woman, woman and woman, man and man. It has nothing to do with sexual, right?
but that's what I'm saying. So you said that the person at some point in time
Yeah,
that y'all separate and that they not, like they just not cool anymore as a friend,
yeah.
right? So there was some jealousy that came in, there was some
Mm-hmm.
hating, there was
Mm-hmm.
all these things. But what I'm saying is like, okay, there had to be a relationship before,
Yes. Yes.
in order for it to get to that part.
Yeah.
So even in a platonic relationship, that's what I'm saying. Like it's still something bad happened. You
Yeah.
know,
I agree.
something that I dislike, something that was unagreeable between both parties or one party, and the other person was just like, you know what, I'm done with you. You
Yeah.
know, so because that happened to me, that happened to me in a relationship with somebody that I call my brother.
Uh-huh.
Where I said some things to them because as a friend, I felt as though I loved them enough to say it because I think that I think that our other brothers' wives were saying it to my other brothers, but I don't think any of my brothers was saying it to
Addressing him. Right.
him, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So I said what need to be said from just my perspective. It didn't matter if it
Yep.
was echoed somewhere else, but I said what I need to say because I'm like, I love you and I'm gonna be honest with you,
Right.
and I see you falling into a pattern.
Yep.
You getting comfortable with this pattern. And is
Yep.
that what you want for yourself as a
Mm-hmm.
man?
Mm-hmm.
Because the other men that you are around ain't in that pattern,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So
True.
you want to be equal, you want to be treated as an equal,
Yep.
but you're not trying to put yourself on an equal footing,
Yep.
you know? Now, the ain't nobody gonna turn their back on you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like the only reason why we ain't cool now is because of him. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
He took it.
He couldn't take the constructive criticism.
He couldn't take me keeping it real with my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like bro, you need to be trying to do better for yourself. Like you getting too comfortable with this, trying to be a grown ass roommate,
Mm-hmm.
your whole
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? So I'm just like, I want to see and when I think that you possess enough ability to be better than that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not be it's just like that pinching somebody, you
Right.
know? It's the pinch, like man, like wake up, you know? So I thought that that was good love.
Yeah.
My intentions were sincere. Um they thought that that was bad love because of how they reacted.
I was about to say that. I was about to say the irony of this whole thing is it really depends on what role you play in this situation, whether you the one delivering the message and you the one receiving it. And I'm not saying that the one receiving it has to take it as bad. All I'm saying is that the one delivering it can have the good intentions, but the one receiving it may consider it bad love. That's why I say I don't really know what bad love is because I mean, I know when somebody say that they love me and it don't feel good and it don't feel right, and it's like maybe that's not right, but I don't know what bad love is because it's either you love me or you don't, right? And just because you are critiquing me or you're telling me something about myself, for lack of better terms, I don't consider it bad love. But because I'm human, I can understand how that gentleman from the outside receiving it in, because he may not have matured enough yet, will say, oh, that's bad love. And the whole time is actually genuine love, you know?
Yeah, you know, I mean, you gotta look in the mirror. Sometimes people might look in the mirror and then, you know, and then be like, damn, that's what I'm looking like, you know? So
Right.
I understand it. You know, I've had my moments, but trust me, I had plenty of people tell me stuff that, you know, I was looking bad and I was doing this and I was, you know, I had you know, another situation real quick where we gotta get you back on the screen. But another
Oh, I'm not
situation
on
real
there. Hold
nah,
on.
you
So let me see. All right. See, am I on there now?
you loading. Nah, you gonna have to pop out and pop back in.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So yeah, y'all, like I was saying, another situation while we waiting on Billy Badass Joe to pop back in was when I think I was about 18, 17 or 18. And and I had got arrested. And when I got arrested, when I got to the central booking, I saw a guy before I went to jail that I had grew up with before they sent me over to the jail. And when he saw me, okay, we got you back. I was just sharing with the audience that when
Okay.
I was about 17, 18, one of them, I can't even remember, so long ago. But I had got arrested. And when I got to central booking over to before they take you to the jail, I saw a brother from my neighborhood that I had grew up with, from the community I had grew up with. And when he saw me, he said, Earl. And he, you know, he called me by my whole name, by my whole government name. He was somebody I went to school with.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I knew you was gonna be here. So to me, at that
In
particular
jail?
moment, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Nigga, this what you
yeah.
had planned my whole life? This what you thought of me?
You know what I'm saying? Well, I gotta remember, you know, that where I come from, you know? And
Yeah.
and sometimes you don't, when you're doing, you don't know that you have a reputation, you know?
Right.
So, you know, because it's so normal to you amongst your friends. You know, you're not
Mm-hmm.
considering what
Mm-hmm.
people think. You know, when you're young, it's fuck what people think. I don't give a fuck. You know, you got to care about something, you know? So I appreciate him for that. I'm not gonna put his name out here, blow him up, but he know who he is. And and I thank him for that. That to me now is good love, because when he said it to me, I was hugging him, you know, like he had on, I think he had on cuffs and I had on cuffs too in the front, you know, but they let us like walk because we
Mm-hmm.
was passing each other. But they let us interact, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like linked into him and everything. He linked into me and everything, you know. And you know, because we went to
Right.
school together and everything. Like I knew the guy. And
Yeah.
and when we did that, you know, when he said that to me as I was leaning in, I was drawn back from it, you know, like I linked in, but then I was like, you know, like what? So, you know, but that was, I thank him for that, you know, to this day,
Yeah.
because that was good love,
Yeah.
you know, that was somebody who genuinely was outside of the box looking at you, you know, even though he was in the box, in his own box, doing his own thing, you know, but he was observing you,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, and he was able to share something with you that allowed me, for when I had to go and sit still while I'm in there now, I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about the choices that I'm making,
Mm-hmm.
and how people are, you know, not even my perception, my, at that time, my reality, you know.
Reality. Yep.
Yeah, you know, so I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't think that he said anything offensive.
No.
I was just drawn back. You know, I wasn't offended by it, like, man, I'm smarter than all y'all dumbass niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't
Right. Right.
it
Right. Right.
wasn't no
Right.
ego involved in it. It wasn't like, oh, because I mean, shit, you in cuffs too, so you ain't that smart.
I was about to say
You
that. In
know?
fact, it should have been a very humbling experience. Matter of fact, like.
You know. So shout out to bro, man, from the town, man. And I was just I was just drawn by that. So to me, that was, you know, that was an example of good love, and I received that and didn't know it until, like, you know, till later, where I had to look at it like being thankful for a friend being honest with
You're
you
right.
know, and then me being wise enough at that age to understand that that's not how I want to be. That's not what I want to be a legacy of me. That's not what I
Exactly.
want to be my future. You know, that's probably going to, if that's the way he's seeing me, then I know everybody else seeing me like that too. You know?
Right.
So at least everybody in our circles,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
they seeing me like that too. So as that continues and that goes on, somebody's gonna want to compete, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have to stay, you know, you're gonna have to keep turning it up and keep turning it up and keep turning it up. And
Mm-hmm.
then
No, I
you
agree with
will
you.
be stuck there, you know, looking for love. You know, looking for people to show you love, because you can't do nothing for yourself but time,
Yep.
you know.
110%. And in fact, some of the things that you're saying though, like I want to elaborate on them, but I almost feel like I want to skip around on the questions and move number 4 up next, which is, can love between friendships lead to jealousy? Because while we talking about good love and bad love, question number 2, it makes me bleed off into question number 4, because like I said, I'm not too familiar with bad love. Now I know the notion of like loving you real bad, or it's not good for me to love you type of situation. But when it comes to friendship, good love or bad love, it's either good love or it's no love. And then when I
I
hear,
don't know, is it though?
I
Because because if we, well, they say that birds of a feather
flock
flock together,
together.
right? So I guess if we all on, you know, on bullshit time, then it's all good,
No,
right?
no.
But what I'm saying is, it's like, as if I'm on some bullshit and you my friend, and you with the shit, then it's good. That's good
Oh,
love,
I get what you
right?
saying. I get like y'all both down for the bullshit. Nah, their intentions might be bad, but the love between the two is still good. Their intentions
But not
together,
if he
their
gets,
objective, their,
not if they get caught in what I'm telling them.
well, then that's snitching. I don't know nothing good about that. Okay, then that's bad. All right. I get
You
what you're
know,
saying. I get
you
what you're
see what
saying.
I'm saying?
But
So
I
that's,
don't even think that's love at that point.
but it was love that had them on the premise of saying, you know, we gonna go pull capers together, or we
It
gonna
was
go.
bullshit that
uh,
had them on it. It was their common desire for the bullshit.
I
It
don't,
wasn't love.
I don't know if that, but the love is the first thing, like, because when you meet somebody in the street, you don't just automatically start doing fuck shit, you know. Like, you meet them, and then, you know, y'all get cool, and then you find out what they got going on, and they find out what you got going on. Or if when you at a young age, you know, it's the peer pressure to, you know, we don't have this, so we don't have that, or we can do what
Yeah.
they doing too, you know, and
Yeah.
so you don't get that, you don't get to find out that, you know, can love, you don't get to find out that the love leads to jealousy until y'all start doing stuff, because you meet on like a level playing field, you
Now,
know.
this what I'll say. I will say, I do think that some people can start off genuinely loving each other, and then over time, one person might take off, and the other person might end up low key harboring jealousy, and then it might turn into high key. But I do understand what you're saying, right? We could even use, like, let's say two individuals coming out of the trenches together, okay, and it might seem like they got love for each other. They on the same bullshit, this, that, and the third. Genuine in reality, if life was different for them, then I don't know if love would even be an element for them, right? So I strongly believe, and this may change over the course of years or even the course of getting comments on this particular episode, but I genuinely feel like that wasn't love. That was commonality of the bullshit, or commonality of trying to make it out the hole, or commonality of, that's just how I feel. I could, but what I do want to say before I get away from it is the question number 4. I'm going to skip down to that one real quick. Can love between friendship lead to jealousy? I do think that is possible. And again, I think that is one of the synopses of where me and the friend, or them and the friend, meet on the same playing field or the same level, because they are birds together and they flock together. And then one person may excel or soar in life or come to their plateau or something before the other party. I could see where that definitely leads to jealousy. And in fact, I'm going to use an example for myself where I thought it was all love, or at least it was genuine care or concern for each other. Okay. In one of the businesses that I worked in, where we do a lot of entertainment to gentlemen. Okay. And every time a gentleman comes in, that could either be for self in the environment, or you can make it where everybody can have a good time, okay, based off, conversation and drinks and things of that nature. Well, I had a associate, I'm going to verify her as, instead of calling her a friend, which I had to find this out over time, that in the beginning we shared clientele, meaning that if I'm at the bar having a drink with this gentleman and I'm networking and socializing, I will invite you over, so that way you have the opportunity to network and socialize with this individual too. Because I don't feel like you're taking anything from me. If anything, I feel like you might be adding something to his life. Now, once this situation takes place but so many times, and you feel like I'm the one always walking away with the upper hand in the deal, at some point this person started to alter their feelings towards me. Not even, this was all like something that they were doing, like personally, that they were harboring. They never spoke out on it outright, any of that nature. And then as time went on, like weird stuff started happening as well. Like I started receiving messages from anonymous numbers that were like attacks, kind of, or like trying to like tear down character, or like, and I just started like, it's not that many, it's not a whole plethora of people that that to me in my life. So once it was easily narrowed down to who it was, I really had to figure, why is this individual doing this to me? Because I haven't done anything to slight them, short them, cut their hand, they spoon, or nothing like that.
Right.
But long story short, it was jealousy.
I get that. I get that. I'm gonna go ahead while we on number 4, and I'm gonna say, can love between friends lead to jealousy? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say,
What?
yeah, after your story, because what I believe in your story is y'all was never friends. I believe that
I'll
that
eat
person,
that.
I believe that that person never had love for you, and that's what I'm starting to understand too. Where if if somebody can do you bad, you know, they don't have no love for you, because they want because they get joy out of trying to bring you some pain. You know, they
Mm-hmm.
get joy out of trying to harm you or trying to, um, you know, uh, destroy your peace.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about, when I say, you know, yeah, when I say that no love can't, no love, because if I care about you, where's my compassion? If I trust you,
Right.
you know, if I trust you, then where is me exemplifying that? Where's me saying, looking at your actions that have been consistent?
Right.
Where is um where's the integrity between us, that if I think you're doing something wrong, I'm not gonna go have a conversation behind your back. You know, I'm not gonna just lash
Right.
out and, and just start acting funny. You know, where is pulling your coat? Like,
Mm-hmm.
being able to be honest. Where's that honesty at, to with your friend, to be like, look, fuck is going on? You
Yeah.
know, like, what's up with this? Why you doing
Yeah.
that? What's up with that? Why you acting like this? Why you acting like that? What's up? What's
I
up? What's up?
agree.
You know, you trying to find out what's going on. What is it between us? Is there a problem? Do we, is there something that we need to solve? Rather than saying, is there a problem? It's a, you can reword and be like, is there something that we need to solve between
I
us?
like that. Yeah. That's less
You
confrontation.
know? Yeah, because it's less confrontational, and
Yeah.
that's that compassion. Because you may ask somebody, you gotta know your friends, you may ask somebody, do we got a problem? And now they wanna, now there really is a problem.
Right.
And because people already lack an ability to communicate and don't value trying to be better communicators with each other, you know, they're triggered by the word
Yeah.
problem, you know. So now they take one word, and now that becomes the only thing you said, and they uh magnify that, and then go into a whole state of ratchetivity and ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
So you never get the problem solved. It just becomes another thing now. Now, so forget about the actual thing that we need to resolve. Now, the
Right.
person is agitated or aggravated because they only heard one word. They weren't listening to you,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and they weren't there with the compassion and the consideration and the desire to want to resolve the problem, so that way the friendship can be, can remain. So
Yeah.
that's why I say
Yeah.
that, when people conduct themselves like that, I say, no, not love,
Yeah.
not love.
Yeah.
Love shouldn't lead to jealousy.
It shouldn't, but
Not
then
if you
I
love it, not if it's good love, not if you loving right. Because love is not just limited to one thing. It's not just kisses and hugs.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Love
Mm-hmm.
is actions.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
if my actions are loving, then, as a friend, platonic, or whatever the situation, it should never lead to jealousy. I
I
think that most of the time people already have that jealousy within them because it's something about you. Like you said, you didn't slight them, you didn't do nothing, anything. You was trying to uplift, promote, you know,
mm-hmm.
but I know where you come from. Where you come from, you got an aura, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from some winners,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So you just get that. You're gonna get that when you're not a bum, when you're
Right.
self-motivated. And and I'm not talking about a homeless person. We love the homeless people, and I'm not talking about a veteran that with a mental disorder. Shout out to all the vets and they sacrifices, but we talking about just a person that has no determination at all. no
Right.
drive, that's always looking for the shortcuts, that's always looking for somebody else to do it instead of them, trying to learn what needs to be done so they can empower themselves, you know.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
you know, those type of people, they know how to play, manipulate very well,
Mm-hmm.
is and to fake to fake as it's love,
Mm-hmm.
to fake like it's love when really, they just waiting for a move. They just waiting for a reason to really snake you out. That's why I be like, you know, it's
That
important.
part.
It's important to have things in common with your friends,
Yep.
that are mutually desirable in life.
Yeah.
I think
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more like lifestyle things,
Mm-hmm.
um, versus what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know,
agree with that statement.
like
And I
do you value integrity? Do you value
mm-hmm.
responsibility, accountability? Do you value
Mm-hmm.
respect? Do you value trust? Do you value compassion, consideration? Okay, if you value these things, I'm gonna see it in our actions and how we interact with each other.
Right.
So I'm gonna know if you lying,
Right.
all right? Because you can't fake it. You gotta live it. You gotta be it.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you.
if those things are mutually aligned, then we cool. I don't care if you have money or not. I don't care if you got a job or not. I don't care if your weight size, your complexion, none of that, your ethnicity, none of that. But if we can
Right.
share those values in common, then we can be friends,
Yeah.
you know, because I love my friend. I love
Yeah.
on my friends, you know. I do
Mm-hmm.
they know I do stuff for them, we do stuff for each other,
Mm-hmm.
because it's genuine like that.
Mm-hmm. I even think sometimes, things that friends didn't even expect, like, can happen. Like, for example, before we move on to the next question, love between friends lead to jealousy. Like, one friend, I've seen this happen. I haven't really experienced this myself, and if I have, I haven't noticed, but I've seen, two friends, whether it be two homeboys or whether it be two homegirls, and then one, which actually rolls us over into another question, which actually brings us back to question number 3. Okay, where a man or two women are friends or two men are friends, and then they genuinely love each other, and then one person the friendship goes and gets a significant other. Okay, and now the dynamics of the friendship have changed because your friend isn't available as much as they used to be anymore, right? So I don't necessarily consider this a bad jealousy or an unhealthy jealousy, but that is a form of jealousy that ends up uh gradually building up within a friendship sometimes. um I don't necessarily think it's a positive or a negative, but I will say that as far as question number 3 goes, should friends prioritize their friendship over potential romances? I think that has to be studied carefully because it can lead to jealousy that we spoke of in question 4. But I do think that it is imperative to be able to balance your friendships as well as your personal relationship, because that person that you end up forming a relationship with, a sexual or romantic relationship with, goodness forbid they break your heart, your friend is going to be the one, hopefully, that's there for you to pick up the pieces. um it doesn't even have to be negative. It might be something where you are flourishing in your relationship romantically, and you may want the input or the help of your friend to help you plan something for your potential romance. even down to something like a wedding, 10 years go by, you're going to need it's time for you to get married to your romantic friend. Wouldn't you want your friend there? The same one that's been able to see you walk through this relationship that was your friend before they came into the picture, or even a way. But in order to make that happen, you have to balance and you have to prioritize the friend as well as you have to prioritize the romantic partner at each other's given times.
Okay.
And I would say also there has been a handful of times where I've personally made the decision to prioritize my romance over my friend, and within 24 hours it's come back to bite me in my ass. Meaning that the time didn't call for me to prioritize my romantic partner because I already had something set in stone with my friend. So why would I shun my priorities or my plans with my friend to the side and then put my romantic partner first at that moment, and then lo and behold, something didn't go right that night between me and my romantic partner, which is making me sit and think like I should have kept my damn priorities with my friend that day, or vice versa. You got something planned with your romantic partner, and then you in turn turned around and said, "Oh, I'm going out with the fellas, or I'm going out with the girls." And whole time you were supposed to be making your priority that night your significant other. What's your
Okay.
thoughts on that?
Okay. Well, one of the things is that people have to our third question, y'all, tonight: should friends prioritize their friendship over potential romance? So make sure to smash that like button and let your love speak in the comment section, y'all. Let us know what you think. Selfishness is something that everybody need to deal with. I heard you say that I sacrificed something for one day and it turned around bit me. Okay, so the thing is like when you commit to a thing, you should commit to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we say a potential romance, all right, we left that open because we just saying that could be a monogamous relationship, that there's a love interest there, there's a romantic interest there, there's an intimacy component to that.
Excuse me.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then we say the friendship is just a friend. It's no intimacy at
Right.
all. It's no romance. It's no, all right. So with those two things is that people will get selfish and they'll say, I want to have fun no matter what.
Mm.
So having the fun is, and then this was in your scenario was, I thought I was gonna have a night plan with my friend, and then I ditched the friend for my romance, and then the night didn't go as planned with my romance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the thing is this: I didn't ditch my friend. I chose to go be with my romantic interests because that's where I wanted to be at for that evening.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My friend didn't get ditched because I told my friend, nah, I ain't kicking it with you tonight. I'm going home to the wife. All right. Or I'm going to go kick it with my girl.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Or if it's whatever the type of relationship, gender neutral, I'm going to go be with my partner. However it plays
Right.
out. Okay. But with your friend, remember there's honesty, you know? And there's a problem when people start not being honest about their friendships, even with their romance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you have a a friend and they ask you, oh, who is that? Oh, that's my boyfriend. That's my girlfriend. That's whatever, my partner. All right. But then when the partner, girlfriend, boyfriend asks, what's up with your friend? You know, then there should also be that level of communication, honesty, and that should be right across the board, you know? So if you can tell your friend, because see, what happens is people be sneaking around with friends and don't nothing be going on. Don't nothing be going on. But they'll sneak around with their friends. They'll treat their friends like the romantic partner isn't more significant.
Yeah.
And when we ask the question, should friends should friends prioritize their friendship over potential romance, it's really going into from this perspective that we at, but into should they look at their friendship if they start to begin to have feelings for each other and say, well, we are friends. I really like you, blah, blah, blah. I didn't think I liked you like that, but would a potential romance ruin their friendship? You know, so you preserve your friendship over, developing feelings, developing a intimate interest. And in looking at the question from that perspective,
Right, because that's a whole different perspective than what I had, but okay.
no, I get it. I just, I gave my synopsis on that. Like everybody got to be honest with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got to be honest because it's that's the way intimate interests have problems with friends, and then that's the way friends have problems with romantic interests through that mutual entity.
Right.
Because somebody lying, somebody's not being truthful, and
Somebody
usually
might.
it's usually the person in the middle. It's usually that friend slash lover or that friend slash friend. They're the liar that's in the middle. Because how could you have a friend that your romantic interests never meet and that's just your friend?
Yeah, see that right there as a whole different element. At that point, I would think
Right.
they're both potential lovers at that point.
You see what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that's not abnormal to think that if you're a young lady and the guy you're dating tells you that he has a female friend and this my friend, but you ain't never met them.
Oh
You
yeah,
ain't
that's
never
a
met her.
whole yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
or you a guy dating a young lady and she tells you she got a guy friend and you ain't never met him. You
Right.
know,
Yes, I agree with you.
so that right there to me is just like somebody lying about something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not respecting anybody. That's selfish, and that's what I said. Like it's selfish. Now going to, should friends prioritize their friendship over the potential romance? Looking at it from that way, I'm like, okay, should you, if you have a friend, if it's just a person, the guy, and that's his female friend, and they just been friends, you know, should they prioritize that and say, nah, I don't want to have sex with you? Oh man, we're not supposed to say that, but I don't want to have sex with you because, I just want us to be remain friends,
Mm-hmm.
because hey, a dude might know themselves. Every person I have sex with, I screw up. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a good,
I
I'm not
say
a
that.
good, I'm not a good, relationship person.
Right.
The other person on the other end, the female, she might be like that too. She might be like, well, every person that I'm dealing with, not knowing they might just be good, perfect for each other. You know,
Right. Right. Right.
they might need to just, put their friendship together, and because they both, you know, you never know. You be losing all the time. You might just be a winner together. Who
Right.
knows?
Exactly.
It's one way to look at it, but
I definitely think that there is no yes or no as far as which one, or I mean, obviously, a potential romance is not your definite romance. So I definitely think you need to, in a general statement, like leave enough time open for your friends and for your level it out in life where I don't know about being on an equal playing field, but about being in a honest situation. See, as for me, I like the example that you were giving. You went deep with it. And that is very true now that I sit here and think about it, because I can actually think of a few people in my life that have relationships outside of their romantic, and they haven't introduced their partner to their friend, not even because they are romantically interested in their friend, but they know the feelings that their friend harbors for them. So they prefer not to intertwine their real partner with their friend. So you hit on some real right there. But I was even just more so,
Yeah.
you ain't lying. I
Yeah,
was
like
more,
how that's your friend and your person don't get to meet them, you know,
yeah,
like what y'all
yeah.
really got going on.
What y'all really, even though it might be nothing, but what do y'all have going on? You know, even if it is the thought out there in the environment is what y'all have going on. Sometimes that's enough, because it's like, if you know better, do better. And if you know they feel that type of way about you, you know, do something about it. Um but for the more, like, that was deep, and that was significant, but even more so for the surface stuff that I was touching on, I just think that it is very, like I said, imperative that we don't lose what our, not regular scheduled program, but who is there for us, who listens to us, who spares for us just for a potential of somebody else. However, because you can't sleep with your friend, or you're not supposed to, they not your emotional confidant and a person you're supposed to be building life with, don't always prioritize them either and sell yourself short of finding the romance, you know? I think
With
that
all the boxes checked, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think that that is something that an individual will have to learn how to balance. I have known of friends, female and male, they get with a significant other. You ain't hearing from them until the seasons change, you know?
Until the seasons change.
Yeah. So
Right.
I think that it's valuable that we all get to learn how to balance both of them. Um,
Absolutely. So going to our fifth and final,
mhm.
last but not least question, what is the difference between love in a friendship and love in a romantic relationship? And right before we do that right there, let's check out this chat real quick. Shout out
Okay.
to Reese Shannon. Yes, love between friends can lead to jealousy.
I'm
And now
with
question.
I'm
And
with
then
Sharice.
peace, power, and profit. Dr. Mo in the building. We appreciate you pulling up.
I like Miss Molam.
Yeah, Dr. Mo. It's all right. Not always there when you call, but
But
always
always
on
on
time.
time.
You know, so
Miss Mo, it's not really your doings. We fluctuate with the time here and there. So
talk about it.
mhm.
Talk about it. But
We'll
look,
take some
but what
accountability for that.
it's all right. You know, we made it and we made it safely. But for everybody just joining, please make sure to smash that like button. And we are talking about the love inside of friendships. The love inside of friendships platonically. And our question right now is what is the difference between love in a friendship and love in a romantic relationship? Let us know what y'all think. Let your love speak in the comments. Really badass Joe. Let me know.
I really only have one direct answer for this, okay? And it might be like, wow, but the only difference that I have for love between my friendships and my relationship is the sexual element. Um,
Oh
what
wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I know that's kind of like, huh? How do you, but that's what make me me. That's what all the people that are in my life say about me. Like, when you love someone, you're going to love them, and it's going to be known that you love them by the way you do for them, you speak to them, you make yourself available for them, you try to problem solve for them, you try to help them out, whether it be just with my time, with my energy, or if I got the finances. But see, you don't have to be my lover for that. You just got to be my genuine friend for that. My lover is going to get all of that plus the sexual yearning. So I know a lot of people, and it's not wrong, do genuinely love they friends and they lovers differently. As for a girl like me, I genuinely only have a difference with my lover because of the sexual desire, the sexual connotation I may put behind certain things that I say or do. But the genuineness don't change. The extra mile or measure that I go don't change. The keeping it real don't change, whether you my lover or my friend. Like, so for me, that's a simple answer. For somebody like you, what are the differences between you loving your friend and you loving your significant other?
Well, I'm gonna add to I'm a champion. We definitely not smashing.
Right.
Um, but also I have a limit to things that I'm willing to do with my friends than what I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do for my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I'm married because so I have limitations to things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not all in with, um with your financial destitutes, like
Mm-hmm.
there's a limit to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all into helping resolve a problem,
Mm-hmm.
but but I'm not going to be the crutch to carry the load,
Right.
you know. See, I can be the crutch to carry the load for my wife,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Um but there are things that, like, certain sacrifices I'm not going to make, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um just certain compromises I'm not going to do,
Mm-hmm.
like, um like coming to live with me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like it's always it's always situational. All
Mm-hmm.
right, but like with a friend, is how much time do you need,
Mm-hmm.
you know
Mm-hmm.
because this ain't permanent for you. Like, this gonna be temporary, but I'm extending because I do love you and I don't want you to be, but you can't come here without no plan.
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know
Mm-hmm.
with my wife and my relationship, but we are the plan. I am the plan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have a plan if she don't have no plan. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And we planning things together, so we working together.
Mm-hmm.
you know with a friend, you need to have a plan and you need to be able to communicate it. It ain't just, hey, can I come stay and lay and eat up and
Mm-hmm.
fuck out of here? I don't have no children, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not taking care of no grown ass adult child.
Right.
You got a mama or daddy, if they still with us or not here with us, you know, that's fine. God bless their soul and their spirit. But at the same time, you know, I ain't your mama or your daddy, and you can't stay nowhere for free. And I don't want money from you.
Yeah.
You know, I want to help you
Yeah.
get into your position so you can be in a better position yourself. So my thing is not to take anything from you,
Yeah.
but it has an expiration date on that, because I
Right.
need to get back to my level of comfort that I designed for myself, not for a roommate
Yeah.
other than my wife.
Yeah.
So I have limitations to certain things, like borrowing a vehicle and shit like that. Like, nah, bro, like, we not doing that.
Right.
You know, like, I have seen other people do it, and that's fair. You help when you can help out if you have more than you need. But it's just like the value is not there. You know, the value is like, now if I need my vehicle, then guess what? My vehicle need to go back to where it's needed at, right?
Yeah.
But the person make it comfortable just using your vehicle and not even trying to get a vehicle
Vehicle,
themselves,
yeah.
you know?
Comfortable.
So they just getting comfortable with you helping them, but they not trying to self-improve, you
Yeah.
know? So
Well,
that's where I have a lot of limitations, you know, and I'm gonna give and share, you know, but there is a limit to my sharing
mm-hmm,
of things, you know.
mm-hmm,
If I have advice, I have access to resources, it's still a limit. It's still, well, it's never a limit to advice if you
mm-hmm,
asking. All
mm-hmm.
right, because it's never my goal to tell somebody something that's gonna hurt them or harm them.
Right.
You know,
Mm-hmm,
I'm not in that human business of doing that.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
All
mm-hmm,
right. But it's only so much that I'm going to give,
mm-hmm,
you know,
mm-hmm.
because it's just, you know, like you gotta, like I said, I don't have no children, you know, like I
Right.
think that I think that that's something that I see parents do, you know, parents give to their children, make sacrifice for their children all the time, you know, like, and
Yeah.
as they get, it's like almost like they never stop their whole life, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that type of love is reserved for who's your partner,
Okay.
you know, who's your spouse,
Okay.
you know, to just keep it, you know, general,
Right.
regardless of what the relationship look like. You know, I think that is that love that you're supposed to take,
Yeah.
and that's that person that you give that type of love to,
All
you
right.
know.
I'm not arguing that.
Unless you have some babies, and if you got some children, then you
Then they
just
get
gonna
that
pay.
first pick. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. But that
So,
person that you plan on spending the rest of your life with, that you trying to
mhm,
build with, you know, that is the person that gets that. That's where you draw the line at, you know,
yeah.
on things. You got to put a limit on it,
Yeah.
because most of the time you'll be asking. You would most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's not. Uh oh, baby, I just gave so and so $1,000 to do this or do that or blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Like if you did that, okay, just because you have your, you know, um like we're gonna talk about this on one of the shows, but like, you know, like if you have your own bank account, you don't, everything isn't a joint account, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't a joint account, and you have your own separate things, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you took something that was out of yours and you did that for your friend, that's cool. But
Yeah.
don't come back and be complaining to your wife or to your partner or your spouse like, oh, this happened, blah blah blah. This person did this. Like, you should already understand that if you're giving, whatever you're giving, you're giving. You don't care about
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
You
Exactly. Yeah.
genuinely want to help that person, and that's where the limit is.
Yeah.
You know. So it's not even a, if I get it back, you can get some more, because I'm not the bank.
Right.
You
Exactly.
know, it's not that, you know, like, because you can't go to the bank and do that. And if I can keep my relationship good enough with my credit or my banking institution where I can go and get what I need, then you need to be asking me how to do that for yourself versus
Mm-hmm.
coming to me thinking that I'm supposed to be your personal ATM, or I'm supposed to be your personal problem solver, like your
Mm-hmm.
parent
Right. 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 Right.
or your spouse
Yeah.
or your partner, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I think that it should be a limit in a lot of things that, you know, our question is, you know, is there a difference between the love and the friendship and love and a romantic? I think that it should be a huge list of ways to love a friend versus ways you loving your partner, because
Okay. So let me say this. Let me interject by saying this. First off, I think what you're saying is great, and I do understand it. And I do believe that there are limits to your friendship, and there are even limits to your significant other, because married or not, nobody needs to be dragging nobody down into the dirt. All right. So I do agree with what you're saying about limits. So as for me, first thing, disclaimer, I'm not married and I currently don't have a significant other at the moment. But I think much to
You
my friends.
trolling? You trolling?
Every Monday you
You trolling?
but but much to my process of finding a significant other, I much vet my friends the same way. And no, I'm not looking for my friends to fulfill the same purpose as my significant other, but I don't run around calling a lot of people my friends. Anyways, I got a lot of acquaintances, plenty of, uh, bypassers, acquaintances, or whatever you want to say, co-workers or could have beens or friends or whatever the case may be, but genuine, honest friends. And again, if the viewers tune into some of our previous podcasts, they might get the type of personality that I am by listening to some previous questions that we answer as far as what an individual can and can't get out of me. But everything that you said in regards to your significant other, as far as like they will be able to get this, they are that for me, they are this for me, I support that. But just like how the friend in your world has a cap, my significant other does too. And I'm not saying you let your significant other, run too far away from reality or home base in any subject. But what I'm saying is that, like that, coming over and staying, right, with the friend with no plan. See, I'm the type of girl, unfortunately, my friend could come if they need a place to stay. And they might not even have a plan when they get through my door. But it's okay for me because we're going to get one in the next 30 days. And then after that 30 days take place, you're going to show me that you're actively working on it. And if you not, then you don't got to worry about being here for much longer. But that ain't just applying to my friend. That's applying to my significant other. And maybe that's a me problem and what I need to work on in life. But that's why I say it's easy for me to yell out, ain't much changing between my friendship and my romantic relationship except for the sex.
I got you. But I'm just gonna make one little quick comment. We're gonna keep it pushing, jump into some of these comments. I think you should work on that because
Thank you. I will. Thank you. I
I
noted.
think you should work on it. And that reservation should only be to a selective few.
Right.
A very, very selective few. And I'm talking about your blood,
Yeah.
that that you got. You know what I'm saying? That you will hold down no matter what.
Yeah.
Because to do that for a friend with no plan, see what I heard you say was, yeah, when they had one in 30 days, see, that's their mama. That's somebody coming in trying to
I
mama
get
them,
it.
trying
Yeah.
to say, you know what, come on, I'm gonna help you do this and I'm gonna help. Nah, if you come to where I stay, all right, and you don't have what's your plan walking through the door,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Because I'm not going, if I say you got 6 months, you gone in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's it. If you say you need 9 or you need 8 or whatever, I'm gonna ask you what you need first. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you say what you need, then that's all you getting. I'm not offering no more.
Right.
Because and that's the love that I have, because you will be able to. And what's your plan? Yeah, you need to share it with me. You living in my house. I'm sharing my
Yeah. Oh,
personal
yeah. Yeah.
space.
You
So
need
I
to.
need to know
Yes.
what your plan is, because if I see you just malingering, like chilling, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm going to ask you, you need some help with your plan? You need some help with your plan? Because
Yes.
I'm going to remind you, I'm going to make you uncomfortable here. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Because I'm going to be, yep, you're going to be gone in 6 months. You know you're gonna be
Yeah.
gone. You're gonna be out of here.
And
You know
I'm
what I'm
with all
saying?
that. Yeah.
You know, so I'm the type of person that's gonna do that because I want to see you be better. You know, and
Yeah.
you can't leech off of me. You can't mooch off of me
Yeah.
because I don't get to do that to nobody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
get to do that to nobody. You know?
Yeah.
So
I'm
if you want to be on an equal footing or just be trying to get there, if you looking at my material stuff that costs that I have to maintain,
that part.
and if I can't maintain it, then I can't afford it, that mean I won't have it. So people not understanding that dynamic of it
Yeah.
because they just seeing stuff that you
Yeah.
have, okay, don't have the desire and or discipline to do the things necessary to
Yeah.
obtain it and
Right.
maintain it, which means you can afford it. Okay. Then if that's the mindset, then nah, this definitely you ain't gonna be comfortable around me. You
Right.
know? You're not gonna be comfortable around me because because I'm gonna be saying shit to you
Yeah.
every day, and I'll be motivating, but I'm like tough love, man. I came up in the military, so like I don't have babies. I don't have somebody to be like, stop it now. Okay, we not gonna do that. Didn't I tell you to stop?
Right. Right. Right.
Hey,
Right.
do I have to tell you again?
Yeah.
If I'm dealing with you as an adult, I'm gonna treat you like you a fucking adult. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you 110%. I definitely think that we do have some differences, but I definitely think that we have some views that align. I mean, long story short, I ain't no sucker, but I do think I probably could work on some things that are soft, if that makes any sense.
It does. And going
Yeah.
to this chat real quick. Let's look at Dr. Molam. I love you. Nothing else follows. Don't ask to borrow. You can't stay at my house. And I'm only going to listen to so much of your problems. I know that's right.
I know that's right too.
And my boo better have his stuff together because he has a limit. All right.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. So she
um,
essentially said the same thing, just in different words, like both of them, friend or man or significant other. You get a little bit of work room, but either way with me, you got to go. You ain't doing right.
yeah. Yeah. Here we go right here. My man gets unlimited if I see a return on my investments. Okay. Um,
But see, that's the
I
same
open.
with my friends. My friends get this same. I mean, I feel where she coming from, and that's good. And as he should. You see the return on your investment, keep pouring into your man. But that's why I say, like, even my friends got I see a return on that investment, share knowledge with them. Next thing you know, turn around using the knowledge that I gave, applying themselves like I'm support more. It gives me more. Like it just it just do something for me.
Okay. I opened up to a friend and they tried to give a sob story that happens. Um, I'm like, that's not my
Yeah.
issue. You got to go. And then or you trying to enjoy yourself and you can't because you always have to support them. Yeah, either way.
Nope. And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, either way, we
Mhm.
gonna we gonna we got Charles Nate in the building. Shout out Big Charles. Does the same apply for family? Charles, when it comes to is there a difference between love and a friendship and love and a romantic relationship? Um, I do the same with I have done the same with my family members. Um, I had a family member who came and lived with me rent free for 9 months. That didn't have to pay for anything. But I also had a requirement when they came to come and live with me, and they showed up with that requirement and, and it was cool. So the goal wasn't to be hard on them. The goal was to let them know that there is somebody out here who loves you and is willing to allow you to do something that nobody else will, because you go and stay at your parents' house or something like that, or with another family member or whoever, a girl, the girl gonna want you to do something. You know, this was a male cousin. The girl gonna want you to pay for something, do something other than just lay around and, you know, move your hips all the time. Okay. Then with your family, you know, somebody is like, well, they running up water bills and they running up this bills, why they can't pay, you know? Well, you're gonna have those things, but I heard Steve Harvey say, one of the worst things that we do is we charge our family to stay with us instead of being disciplined enough, since the question was about the family, to say, how long do you need and what's your plan? We don't challenge them to have a plan. Okay. So then that way they can be goal oriented the same way that you are. Because if you weren't goal oriented, then they wouldn't have nobody house to come ask to stay at, and you wouldn't even be in a position where you could offer them to stay for free and get their stuff together. But be goal oriented so they could do it in that time frame. And then when they get to the end, if they need, you know, a grace period or whatever, because there are some things that's coming together, then yeah, you can decide that then. But most of the time, it's like they'll be bullshitting the whole time. You will see them not doing nothing. You'll see them not making no progress, you know, and then they won't think fat meat greasy. And then, you know, now they mad because you telling them to get out, and they just forgetting the whole however long that you actually helped them, that they couldn't do nowhere else on planet Earth unless they was in a homeless shelter. And the homeless shelter wants you to get up and leave, you know, and go outside. So, you know, shout out, shout out, Charles Nathan. Big Chuck, man. So,
Hey, cheese.
you know, so tonight, y'all, we have been discussing the love inside of friendships. And we had 5 questions this evening. What determines if a person is considered a friend? What does good or bad love look like in a friendship? Should friends prioritize their friendship over potential romance? Can love between friends lead to jealousy? And what is the difference between love in a friendship and love in a romantic relationship? Let us know what y'all think in the comment sections, and let your love speak below. We want to thank everybody for pulling up and going up with us tonight in the chat. Dr. Mo Lamb, Big Cheese, who else? Reese Boo.
Thank you.
We want to appreciate everybody for pulling up and rocking with us, y'all. Make sure to smash that like button and also share the video. And have a peaceful, positive, and productive rest of y'all week, y'all. It's hump day, and we almost over the hump. So we'll see y'all next time right here on the Love Speak podcast with myself, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the baddest of the baddies, Billy Badass Joe. She got her camera acting up right now, but it's all love. They can hear you.
They can't see this beautiful face.
No. We gotta get you right. We gotta get you right on the technicalities. But yeah, y'all. We'll see y'all.
Appreciate y'all sticking with it. Next episode.
Yeah, we'll see y'all on the next
Sorry,
episode.
what were you saying now?
I said we'll see him on the next episode.
Oh, you got that right. We need to get this glitch fixed. Sorry, world. Thank y'all for being patient with me tonight.
All right, peace. We out, y'all.
This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksoulfarm.com, 1016 160 self-sustainability. jump on a list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Some say that art imitates life, but we say that life is art. So visit the DBCHEFTV gift shop and get 15% off of your next masterpiece of fashion. How do you get there? Simply tap the link in the description. Exchange insights Sundays at 8 p.m. East Coast time with the Cigar Panel, smoking on words like two big nerds, hosted by DBCHEFTV and BK Soul Farm at Cigar Sundays on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so when they go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live.
Fans in the Stands is gaining momentum thanks to our viewers. Our crew bring the facts with humor, keeping our viewers entertained and laughing. Join us each and every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Fans in the Stands on YouTube.
At the Veteran Kettle Podcast, we thank you for your service, support, and sacrifice to our country. Listen to real stories of adversity and triumph as we give our best to honor our vets. Subscribe today and watch episodes now streaming on YouTube at TVK Podcast, The Veteran Kettle. Love ain't always easy, and we won't stop until we get it right. So bring that ass to the Love Speak Podcast. Subscribe today and let your love speak at TLS Podcast. The Love Speak, now streaming on YouTube.
Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at www.dbcheftv.com.